What is up, everybody? Welcome to The Feast, episode 74, the show where you submit replays and we cast them. I am Delthius. How's it going, guys? Good to see everybody. Thanks for the raid as usual, Miss Clicker. I always appreciate it, my man. Let me make sure my levels are right. Maybe a little more game audio there. That's starting to look pretty good. So what's going on, everybody? Really fun Sunday, man. We casted the grand finals of Tooth and Tail League Season 2, Class A and Class S, so congratulations to the winners. I'm always torn, man, after a big tournament to, like, say who won or don't, but I don't want to spoil it, man. If you missed that, check out twitch.tv/BestSakuaNA. Me and Best Sakua casted that together. It was a ton of fun, man. Exciting conclusion to Season 2. There are plans for a Season 3. It's not underway just yet, but I do encourage everybody, man, just sign up for that and have fun. The qualifiers are a lot of fun regardless, and, you know, who knows, man? You might make Class A or Class S. I made Class S, so if I can do it, you can do it. Yeah, it is my birthday tomorrow. I'm turning 874 years old, so I'm really excited about that. I'm actually a wizard. I've been alive for some time. No, I turned 29, so one more year before I turn 30 and have a big midlife crisis meltdown, right? Isn't that what happens? But yeah, we got a cool show lined up for you, man. I appreciate everybody who has submitted post new patch. This is all new patch stuff tonight. I updated my Twitch panels a little bit, so the chat commands are down there now, so everybody has an opportunity to review how dim wolf coins work. And what else is going on? So the Gentleman has just started a new event that I believe it's called the 21 Duelists. The 21 Duels Challenge, yeah. Let me pull this up real quick. So basically how this is working is that there are seven duelists. Looks like we got Mishi, the Red Dino, Swifty, Josh. Oh man, this picture, there we go. Doohoo, Yope, and Froggo. And they're going to be competing through 21 separate players with a set amount of lives, trying to make their way all the way to the top and win that juicy glory, man. So the casting for it, it's kind of interesting. It's not like a traditional tournament type thing. Most of it's going to be casted via replays. And Gabe and E Fox has just started that, I think yesterday, right? And I think he's undergoing the casting of the first arc, and then Jet Erickson will be doing arc number 2, and I will be doing arc number 3. So the tournament will be casted on a few different channels. I'm sure Jet will cast arc 2 on his channel, and arc 3 will be here on ToothAndTailTV. Yesterday, yeah, I need to watch it. I'll probably watch that tonight as I'm getting ready for bed. Is the music loud? It might be. I mess with my settings. Let me adjust real quick. Turn the music down a little bit. There we go. Those levels look pretty good. So yeah, man, I guess without any further ado, let's hop into this. I need to update my panels for the links for the Gentleman's event, man. So if you wanna throw any links in the chat, the Gentleman, feel free to, man. I'll get my information updated for Thursday's show, so there'll be easy links to that. But anyways, guys, match number 1. Let's hop into it. Okay, spawning on the left, we've got Numbers. I guess I'll call him. It is opponent to the right, Black Vegetable, aka Froggo. All right, let's take a look at this map here. So Numbers got to be feeling pretty good about this spawn, right? I mean, an easy natural base right there. Froggo's expansion is not too far away, but I'm kind of worried about this distance right here. It seems very contestable. So if I was Froggo, I'd probably expand down south. And but he does have these couple campfires to help get him through the early game. So he doesn't necessarily have to be too worried about getting a quick expansion. But we'll see if we even get there this game. I mean, Frog's running 4 Tier 1 and Tier 2, so to me, that kind of signals that he wants to take this game with an aggressive approach, and I like the deck coming out here from Numbers. I think it's pretty well-rounded, you know, kind of heavy on the Tier 1, but Tier 1's pretty strong at the moment. No skunks, but snakes can probably do fairly well against them with some good target fire. Oh, thanks for being on top of the bot, man. I launched the game, and then I freaked out for a second because I was like, crap, I didn't start the contest. But P-Boop is on top of it, man. So then Wolf Coins bettings were underway. I'll make better mention of that next game. I apologize, guys. So both players opening up with a straight tier 2. This is becoming more common nowadays. I don't think it's incredibly greedy. However, an 8-farm 2 tier 1 with short rush distance can get over there in time, you know, have a few, maybe 3-4 squirrels or lizards try to poke down a farm or something like that. But, you know, it's absolutely safe when your opponent's going for the same thing, of course. And Numbers here is going to try to go ahead and claim this expansion. I like this from him a lot. I think it's going to, you know, be very beneficial, even just for the fact of expanding the territory, especially with the snake regeneration. And on top of that, just throwing a turret. I'd love to see, like, when a big fight's about to happen, you know, just throw a turret down, right? Like, don't go crazy with the turrets, just 1 or 2 can really give you an edge in that fight. So Numbers is going to try to come out and poke with this single snake. It's going to come down to Micro. Froggo's commander is a little bit out of position there as he was trying to secure an expansion, but overall, nothing too crazy happens. The snake gets out alive. The tier 1 Warren takes some damage, but it's still okay and will heal up over time. So Frog's got that campfire going. Does Numbers know about it? No, he hasn't scouted anything economic from Frog just yet, and he still doesn't see it. Let's see if he gets the scout here. Checks this back campfire. Okay, now he sees the expansion, so he knows Frog is at least going for a couple farms here. I wonder if that's going to trigger Numbers to grab some more farms of his own, or maybe build a lot of tier 1s. So yeah, it looks like he's just going to continue on with that farm production, and even going to transition a little bit more. Oh, is he going to throw down the fox? There it is. All right, I think that's a pretty good read. You know, Frog throwing down to second base kind of signals that he may not necessarily be going for early aggression. It doesn't 100% rule that out, but it's at least more confirmation than seeing your opponent just with 1 base, you know what I mean? But I am worried for Numbers here. Like, he's being very greedy. He's trying to kind of do both, right? Like, he's trying to tech up to tier 3 and expand. And Frog gets to scout that the expansion is halfway saturated, but that's about where Frog is on his saturation as well, and he hasn't scouted the tier 3 Warren, so he doesn't necessarily realize that he's got a little bit of an army lead at the moment. So he's going to come in and scope this out. Does he see the tier 3 Warren? That'd be huge. He does indeed, and he also knows that the Fox is going to be here in 50 seconds. So does this trigger a timing attack from Frog? He's got snakes, he's got lizards, but he doesn't have any defensive structures. So, yeah, starting to throw down these lizards here. I think that's a great adjustment. I like this play. He doesn't try to overcommit, you know? I mean, yeah, Numbers is down 360 food, but still trying to attack up into this defensive position, up high ground, and all that kind of jazz would be difficult. So Frog's not in any rush. He's just going to get out a healthy lizard count, which he's going to use to try to push the Fox back and try to stay ahead on economy. Can you call Numbers Amari? Is it Amari? I don't know, man. Who knows who Numbers is? I think the chat is onto something for sure, though, that it's probably somebody smurfing, right? They've been playing very well thus far. So Numbers is coming in and getting some work done with the Fox, but needs to be careful. Overextended with this Fox a little bit. These lizards caught Numbers off guard. You know, since Frog kind of switched into them post-scouting the Fox, Numbers wasn't really aware that Frog even had the option to go for lizards, right? Very, very close there. Nice micro getting that Fox out alive. I thought for sure it was going to go down. So the Fox has dealt a little bit of damage here. Knocked out a couple farms, got a couple tier 1 kills. And Frog handled that very nicely, almost got the kill off. Needs to be careful though, one snake already goes down, just gonna hard commit and try to rush in here onto the Fox. The Toad's getting a lot of work done, but the Fox remains. The Fox hitting target fire down to 3 HP. Numbers moves it back just in time. And Kasha's gonna survive for now, and this push from Frog is being dealt with. Numbers took a little bit of damage there, but the fact that the tier 3 is still alive is absolutely huge. Frog, you know, I feel like if Frog can kind of bait, kind of like this position right here, you know, take this fight outside of the big defender's advantage of his opponent, right? Outside of the pigs firing, outside of the Warren cover, he can do better here for himself. And gets a little bit of damage onto that Fox, but this Fox is still doing very nice, but it's going to go down, I think. Oh my god, 1 HP. There it goes. The Fox finally goes down. And Frog is in a commanding lead at this point. He needs to be careful not to overextend. That Fox is not all that Numbers had. Yeah, I like this pullback from Frog. Needs to be careful for the moment. Third base is, I mean, I don't think you're thinking about a third base. Anyways, if you're Frog, right, you're probably thinking about how to end this game, but I think it'd be fine for him to take that 6 o'clock. If he really wanted to. But he's gotten so much damage done. Why not keep the momentum going? Why not throw down a couple more Tier 1 Warrens and keep the push underway as you see him doing right here. And Numbers very smartly sold off that Tier 3 Warren, just kind of ruled out getting another Fox. I think that was the right call. The Fox would take so long to produce, and Numbers anticipated this follow-up attack from Frog. Realized, okay, man, I gotta drop that, try to get as many units as I possibly can out on the field before the attack happens, but Numbers pushing Frog back and picking up that snake on the retreat's very huge. Can Numbers actually come back into this game? Right now, he's got the army lead according to the graphs, right? Yeah, that last attack went very well for him. I don't know. I think we've stabilized a little bit here. This could kind of go either way. Lots of toads here from Numbers and lots of lizards from Frog. Those lizards get decimated. But Frog also gets some decent toad connections of his own. This is so close, man. Numbers just barely has enough to clean this up. And pulls back for now. Now, Frog does have these extra couple campfires. You know, the economic damage that was dealt in that big push from Frog was never really recovered 100% by Numbers. So Numbers is down a little bit in the mining department. And taking a third base for Numbers would be very difficult here, I feel like, compared to that 6 o'clock that Frog could more easily take. Numbers, though, looks like he's trying to get into position to seal this game out. And I think he's going to take a chance and go check and see if that third base was ever taken by Frog. Indeed, it wasn't. Needs a haul ass, get back to the front lines. Yeah, even rallies his units back. I always get so worried in positions like that, man, because right when you leave the front lines, you know, if your opponent just dives in on you, 9 times out of 10, they can take the better trade, you know, since they're applying micro and you aren't. All right, Frog. No, I'm sorry. Numbers grabs this gristmill. Maybe to kind of try to force Frog into an engagement here. The skunk gas starting to get put down, but the skunk gets killed relatively quickly. The Frogs just kind of trade with one another and a little bit of splash on each other's armies. And look at this, man. This is basically a straight army swap here. This is crazy. This is a crazy game. This is a good match to start the night off on. If people are trying to put the numbers together and figure out some kind of hidden code, hoping that it's possibly Amari as a Smurf, it could be. I don't know, man. I don't know. Amari doesn't like the fox, does she? I don't think so. She does like toads, though. Okay, Numbers trying to come in. That toad getting taken down before it can connect. And Frog with the skunk here. It's really making a huge difference in this fight. Look at that pigeon helping heal it, you know, making it a nice tank. And with that, Frog is going to secure the victory. Okay. Okay. Waiting on P-Boop to end the betting. And get the betting ready for the next match. There we go. Very nice, very nice. Next match is going to be Bonk vs. Alewing, guys. Get ready to throw down your wolf coins on whoever you think will win this match. I don't know, man. You never know with Bonk, man. Bonk submits a lot, but he doesn't always submit wins, right? So we'll see. Just waiting on the old P-boop here to get that contest started, and we shall launch. There we go. Okay, betting has begun. Bonk versus Ailwing. Throw those wolf coins down, guys, and let's hop into match number 2. All right, spawning on the bottom, we've got Ailwing and his opponent to the top right, Bonk. All right, pretty crazy map here at first glance, I should say. Bonk can take that second base, you know. It's not unreasonable. It's going to spread him out a little bit, but Ailwing doesn't have lizards here. And plus, it really isn't, right? Like, you could almost consider this second base connected because this water here, like, yeah, there is an attack path, but I seriously doubt we'll ever see Ailwing try to go up that. Bonk is really nicely positioned here. I'd almost be jealous of Bonk in this spawn if he had a Fox or a Badger in the deck that... Oh, but wait a second. What is he going for here? The 5-farm double. Okay, we see Bonk do this pretty often. You can still rush a tier 3 Owl, but you don't see that most of the time. Owl kind of really benefits from a nice, big, strong, healthy economy. And on Ailwing's side of the map, you know, things look okay. Again, I feel like this natural over here is fine. It's going to be difficult. Let me look at this mini-map. Yeah, it looks like there is a little attack path here, but no, you can't even get there. All of this is closed off in the middle, right? So this is a pocket expand. There's no entrance into it. So yeah, the spawn from Ailwing here is pretty good. This third base might be hard to take eventually if Bonk already has secured this high ground. That's an issue. That's something I would favor Bonk in the spawn for sure on. Is that if Bonk can kind of stabilize and get set up here, it's going to be hard for Ailwing to attack into that regardless, and then it's also going to be hard for Ailwing to keep up on economy and secure that third base. So, did Ailwing ever scout the aggression coming out of Bonk? He did, but it doesn't look like Bonk wants to really put on any harassment here. He just wants to hang back, secured that gristmill. Now he's going to start, you know, getting his farms put together. And this is a little bit of an interesting opening. You know, when you're really taking a big blow when you don't get 8 farms relatively quickly. But here we go. Ailwing is going to try to get out onto this map. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about, man. If Bonk continues this large tier 1 production, you know, relatively early on compared to, you know, when you would traditionally take farms, then he can really secure this high ground position and stop Ailwing from ever really advancing up here. And Ailwing seems to be a little bit aware of this, building a ton of toads here, man. So you need to be careful about that. You know, if like the toads trade, you know, pound for pound, then Bonk wins that because he has less toads. But Ailwing gets a nice position, and I think this makes sense from him. He doesn't really want Bonk to get comfortable up here. So he's trying to keep this pressure on, trying to get up here when he can. But this is what I was kind of talking about. But the toads actually get through for Ailwing. Ailwing makes sure to focus down that last toad. And now he's actually getting some aggression done to Bonk. Bonk's going to have to hunker down back on the main base here. A couple good toad connections, though, might even things out for him. He's had to sell off a lot of those warrens that he placed a little bit more forward. You know, Bonk really doesn't have a whole lot of room with this spawn to build warrens, right? I think getting the skunks makes sense, but he needs to be careful. If Ailwing decided to push in there, man, that could have been very brutal. Alright, so Bonk's going to stabilize for now. Ailwing trying to get up to tier 2s of his own. But man, it's hard for me to say where this is going to go from here. I feel like Ailwing's got a lead, right? Like, he's dealt measurable damage to Bonk. He's taken this campfire. He's got his second base up and running. He's probably going to go home, throw a couple farms on that real quick. But with toads, man, you never know. And Bonk even going down to just 3 toads here. I don't know exactly how it works out. Certainly 3 toads probably won't be able to knock out 12, right? Unless they were all just like perfectly clumped together. But if Bonk can get that favorable engagement, you know what I'm saying? Like trade his 3 toads for 3, 4, 5, 6 toads of his opponent, that might help out here. Bonk trying to get his own economy going in this match. Both players just gearing up for the time being. More tier 2 on the way for Bonk. Let's see, Ailwing's going to come out here again. You know, the way this map is kind of engineered here really kind of forces Ailwing to try to keep the pressure on and prevent Bonk from getting too strong up top. But Bonk's commander goes down to the splash damage of the toads is what it looked like there. And the rest of Bonk's army gets rolled over. Bonk respawns now, but the damage is already being dealt here. The second base denied, and we're past the 5-minute mark, so that's a very big blow. More tier 2 going down on the side of the Bonker. And Ailwing is moving in, trying to deliver the killing blow. Bonk realizes that's curtains and taps out. Ailwing takes the match. I think Ailwing played that correctly, man. Keeping the aggression on, because a late game situation with the map like that probably wouldn't have favored him. Alright, the next match we're going to get into is going to be the Gentleman versus Parsival. So, to bet on this one, it's just going to be Gentleman or Parsival. Bonk saying he's got some newer replays that are way crazier. Awesome, my man. Shoot them over to me. We'll get them on for Thursday night. So far, so good. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, bet either Gentleman or bet Parsival as we hop into match number 3. Alright, spawning on the bottom, we've got Parsival. And his opponent to the right, the Gentleman. Mines and balloons coming out for the Gentleman here. Maybe just testing different strategies. The Gentleman's always, he's not a one-trick pony, you know, he's always very flexible. I feel like he's got a good handle on, you know, basically any unit in the game. So it's always cool to see him experimenting with different strategies here. And meanwhile, Parsival is running, you know, a pretty regular split, I would say. The Wolf, you know, we're still kind of scratching our heads on the Wolf a little bit in the current meta. It definitely pairs really well with Falcons though, so it's just kind of hard to, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like, it can make a huge impact, but if it kind of comes out too late or just doesn't get the right engagement, it's not going to be as powerful or as impactful as something like the Badger could be. But at the same time, the Wolf, when shining and when used correctly, can be absolutely insane. So we'll have to see how these guys decide to take it. The map looks fine. I like it for the Gentleman here. It's a little bit easier for him to get to his second base. Parsival has expansion options, but they're kind of a pain in the ass to get to. He can run this little way that he's running right now and get to that second base, but from there he's essentially only gonna want to warp over to that. And at the same time, though, you know, the front lines of this map, if you actually split it kind of like that, then it would favor Parsival in the long run. And the Gentleman doesn't have lizards or fox or anything like that can really take advantage, or chameleons, you know, that can take advantage of an opponent that's super spread out. So I think these bases over to the left are relatively safe from Parsival. Gentleman being incredibly greedy, already going up to 3 farms on that second base, and I'm curious to see how Parsival is going to respond to that, because Parsival is aware that the second base went down, and look at that, Gentleman even sold off a Warren earlier, so you know, Parsival kind of knows what's up at this point. He knows the Gentleman's playing very greedy. He even saw this tier 2 get thrown down right on the edge of his vision there. Gentleman's going to come in, not see a whole lot, just a couple tier 1, and I don't know if the Gentleman's, he hasn't scouted the second base yet. He's probably aware that a gristmill exists right there if you just kind of look at it on the mini-map, but he hasn't got that confirmation yet. So Parsival is coming in and got a nice scout off on how many farms that the Gentleman is going up to on his second base, and is just going to tech up and maybe try to match a little bit of this greed from the gentleman here. Yeah, throwing down a few more farms on his second base. I think that's the smart play to make. Ooh, this is what I like, though. These mines set up here from the gentleman. See, the thing is, you know, we often see players throw down 1 or 2 mines, and they don't really seem super impactful, but 4 mines, man. Like, 4 mines are going to get work done. And Parsival doesn't know that the mines exist for the gentleman, which is another pretty big thing, right? Like, in the current meta, if I'm playing ladder matches, I'm not anticipating mines, you know what I mean? So Parsival has no reason to think that there are any mines up here, and has a pretty good probability of just kind of marching his whole army in here on an attack or on a bait that the gentleman lures him in with, and losing a ton in tier 1 there. We'll have to see. Or it could do nothing. But either way, like, if it does nothing, you know, it's not that big of a food investment from the gentleman. Double tier 3 coming down for the gentleman. Does not get scouted from Parsival. This is kind of the classic textbook, you know, owl macro strategy coming out from the gentleman here. If you've been kind of wanting to figure out how to do this play style, this is definitely a good replay to maybe rewatch and take some notes on. You know, the gentleman's been playing essentially as greedy as he can get away with. He's been keeping tabs on Parsival, trying to make sure that a big attack isn't coming his way, and just kind of building a minimalistic army to get up this large saturation on second base very quickly and get up a very respectable tier 3 count. Now, the tier 3s have been scouted by Parsival at this point, and he does know that they're owls, so his response to this is building a lot of falcons. I like that a lot. He's running out of room to place Warrens, though. This is rough, man. I think this is a good time to throw down that wolf, man. You know, he's getting that falcon count up. He knows that the gentleman's not going to be putting on aggression anytime soon, but that clock is ticking. That the aggression from the gentleman is probably going to come out within the next minute or two, you know, as these owls finish up. At the very least, he's going to begin poking with them. But owls and falcons, I feel like, falcons and skunks do very well against owls, in my opinion. And the toads, you know, they can do very terribly against the owl, or they can give you that extra punch that kind of break through the mice to get the damage on these. Mines going off, knocking down that skunk and a couple more tier 1. And the big engagement is coming in. Parsival attacking just before these owls are finished. And Gentleman actually getting supply blocked from losing all of his units there. Not able to get the production going on all these owls as he'd wanted. And it looks like Parsival is kind of successfully foiling the plans of Gentleman here. He came in for an attack at just the right time, right as these owls were about to be, you know, completely bought and paid for, or in the case of this owl, you know, starting to spawn. And one owl in a situation like this is just not going to be enough. Parsival might have done it here. Gets a ton of damage under the Gentleman, man. That second, you know, killing that second base was definitely enough damage. You know, Parsival could bleed off everything here and basically still be fine in this game, I feel like. But as I say that, though, he does need to be careful. You do want to keep at least these tier 2 units alive if possible. And Parsival's starting to realize that and getting back with that skunk at the very least. You know, keeping that going. Now the Gentleman's in a rough spot, man. He should be well aware that Parsival has a fully saturated second, so he knows he's just kind of got to attack with what he's got here and cross his fingers and hope that he can get something done. But, you know, after seeing the reinforced army from Parsival, realizes this isn't going to happen. Taps out. Parsival takes the win. It's so funny that 60% of people betted on Parsival to win that, even though the Gentleman, I mean, he was in the Class S Grand Finals, right? You know, arguably one of the strongest players, but it's almost like a tradition here that the Gentleman loses. And it's because people get excited, you know, you win a game against the Gentleman, you want to submit it to TnTTV, right? It makes sense. Alright, guys. So the next bet has begun for Amistria versus Doggo. Match number 4. Let's hop into it. Alright, guys. Spawning in the bottom, we've got Amistria. And our opponent up top, Doggo. Okay, so classic Amistria with the barbed wire here. Doggo running a nice deck composition. I think that's pretty meta at the moment. You know, snakes are pretty popular. Toads just got a little bit of an HP nerf and structure damage, AoE change, but I feel like they're still pretty strong. I wonder if the squirrel change has been fully fleshed out by now. I mean, it's been about a week, right? So the new squirrel, you know, they're not rooted as long as they used to be after firing, so it gives you a better opportunity to micro against the toads rather, and try to stutter step and that kind of thing. But I haven't seen that a whole lot in these replays, to be honest. Just quite yet, or maybe I just haven't noticed because I'm bad. All right, so was Amistria thinking about taking that campfire right off the bat? It kind of felt like that. Overall, this map seems relatively even. You know, definitely favored for Doggo in a sense. You know, he's got access to a 4th base. Amistria doesn't, and he's also got that high ground advantage, which may or may not be impactful. I mean, Amistria does have the pigeons and falcons in her deck, so that's gonna allow her to more easily overcome that you know, high ground that Doggo will be able to fairly easily hold. And it looks like both players actually got very nice scouts off. Both players already having the entire map revealed. 8 farm openings into very tier 1 heavy openings, to be honest. We haven't seen this a ton lately, so I'm definitely expecting some aggression here. Amistria looks like she's gearing up, and 9 squirrels versus 3 toads, man. 9 squirrels and 3 toads versus 12 squirrels, I'm sorry. And, you know, I feel like this comes down to micro, because when toads are in small numbers, you know, like 3 or less, you can focus fire them down fairly easily. So Misha could try to push in here, yeah, with the pigeons. I like the pigeons to kind of back up a prolonged push, keep that, you know, sustain going, keep her squirrels heavy. And Doggo hasn't really committed much money elsewhere. He did build this campfire, but Doggo's commander goes down. Amistria is going to use that as an opportunity to get here, but her commander goes down as well, and these toads, one of the toads gets the engagement it was looking for. But the other 2 die. That's unfortunate, man. Amistria kind of won that fight anyways, but if she wasn't so gung-ho, man, if she waited, you know, pulled back just a little bit earlier, that might have been her opportunity to deal game-ending damage to Doggo. Now we have a nice scrappy engagement here, where it looks like Doggo's getting the upper hand and pushing in against Amistria. And that was hilarious. I was like, Doggo's commander died! And then Amistria's commander dies immediately after. Alright, Doggo continuing his production here. I feel like he got the better end of that last engagement. He's got the campfire as well. Amistria is just hard committed into this tier 1. Nothing else yet. Saving up a little money, though, is a tier 2 about to get thrown down. Perhaps the skunks. No, going for the ferrets. I like it. And that actually makes sense, you know, because she has seen those turrets, right? Yeah, she saw the turrets being built. So she knows the ferret's going to be able to siege into this position. And this is fantastic for Doggo, really starting to stretch out and contest this kind of area. It's going to make it difficult for Amistria to feel comfortable expanding anywhere, really. And Doggo's got the 2nd base. He even throws down a Fox Warren. I don't know. Is that Fox too greedy is the question. If Amistria sniffs that out, or even kind of starts applying pressure and realizes that there's some money missing, she might be able to push in here and break this position. The first ferret's already out. I wouldn't be surprised if Amistria starts harassing down these turrets here shortly. Yeah, gonna kind of plant her flag down and claim this gristmill. And the siege begins. Doggo is probably just gonna go ahead and sell off these turrets But Amisha isn't aware that she's on a clock here, that the Fox is coming out. And Amisha doesn't have anything in her deck that's just very strong, you know, anti-Fox repellent. You know, normally I think a unit's like most defenses, barbed wire kinda, but here we go, an engagement coming down. Doggo gets some okay connections, but not game-changing there. And Amisha, with the tier 2, backing her army up, with the pigeons as well, keeping everything nice and sustained, is getting a lot of momentum in the push. The Fox is still, you know what, 20, 30 seconds away. So this is a nice timing that Amisha is hitting. Getting some real damage done, but she hasn't completely won the game yet. Doggo needs to kind of, it's kind of a rough spot for Doggo, right? Because on one hand, you want to back up and try to mass your army up a little bit, but at the same time, if you do that, then now these ferrets can just start sieging in on all your warrens. This Fox that's coming out for Doggo is going to have to be a rock star to get him back into this game, but Amisha finally sees that tier 3 warren. The warren goes down, but the Fox has hit the board. Let's see how much damage Doggo can do. Lots of squirrels here can kind of just YOLO into this Fox and eventually box it in. It's not the prettiest way to do it, but it can be done. Or simply just ignore the Fox, right, and just finish your opponent off and keep knocking out their structures. Like, Doggo's only got the 1 gristmill left. He's got a little bit of money. He's got no warrens at all. So Mishra, I think this is a very smart call from Amisha. You know, the Fox came out late for Doggo, and Amisha doesn't just kind of run around and try to eliminate that Fox. Just says, you know what, you know, the Fox is all you've got left. I've still got a very large army. I'm simply just going to knock you out of the game, and takes a victory. Okay, really cool game. Let's hop into the next match. What do you think for betting options, P-Boop? Dino versus Protocam? Or Dinosaur? Here we go. Yeah, Mishra won that one. Dino would probably work. Dino versus Protocam. I think that'd be good. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it as always. Don't forget to check out the grand finals of Tooth and Tail League Season 2, Class A and Class S over on Best Sakuya NA's channel. Gabe and E. Fox just casted the beginnings of Gentleman's new 21 Duels challenge over on his channel as well. So there's definitely a lot of content nowadays. Okay, so it's going to be Dinosaur versus Protocam, guys. If you're interested in betting, the betting has begun. So throw those wolf coins down. Kind of a hard call with Red Dino and Protocam, right? Because they both submit a lot. So who knows who submitted this replay. Match number 5, guys. Bet Dinosaur 500 in the chat, man. Going hard. On the player to the right, the Red Dinosaur. And his opponent to the lower left, Protocam. I think this is a good matchup, man. I think Protocam and Red Dino are both really strong players. And I'd like to see how they perform in upcoming tournaments. You know, they're not necessarily like household Tooth and Tail names at the moment, you know, like when you think of the big powerhouse players like Mishi and Gentleman and Pyle and stuff, but I definitely have my eye on them. I think they're up and comers, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them, you know, place very well in tournaments or in the Tooth and Tail League or something like that. So really excited for this game. Protocam, what is Protocam up to? Here we go, going for a 5-farm double, and he faked Red Dinosaur out with it as well. And this is risky, man. Okay, so Red Dino on his first scout, you know, saw what was happening from Protocam, and he just assumed he was going to go into 8 farms, but now he finally sees it, and he took a little bit of extra time, though, on his way to Protocam's base to get the lay of the land a little bit, and that was slightly risky. Now Protocam has already began lizard production. He's going to move out with 4. He's going to have to come into this high ground, but this pig on the corner here should definitely be dead if he moves in right here, right now. Mine trying to go down by Red Dino, but it's a little too late. The lizards are moving in, grab 2 kills, dive on for a third. The third, I think, was an overextension. Is he gonna get it? Oh my god, is he gonna get it? He gets it! Damn, dude. Bled off a lot of lizards there, but gets 3 pigs and a squirrel. And his economy at home is not slacking either, so... Protocam in a nice spot so far in this match. Red Dino is gonna try to return the favor and get something done, but the lizards just do so much better than squirrels in equal numbers and open engagements like this. So Red Dino is not able to accomplish anything there. You're gonna have to go home and scratch his head and decide how he wants to take the game from here. All right, the lizard moving in. I think it actually got that building farm. Hang on, I'm watching my stream. I was reading the chat for a second. Okay, no, it looks like Red Dino did sell it. But this lizard aggression is became too much here. Red Dino has simply taken too much damage. He's lost every single one of his farms. Gonna try to push back, but overall I think we got a short and sweet game here from Protocam. Red Dino says, "Oh, this is my first game of the day." Yeah, that's what I hate sometimes, man, because I'm high rank up on the ladder. You know, normally I sit between like 800 and 1,000 points, but I don't play that often. I just don't have a whole lot of time for video games, unfortunately, these days. So when I do get on, it's like my first match against Pyle, against Swifty, against the Gentleman. I'm just like, damn it. I just want to relax. I gotta like try super hard. Nice quick victory there for Protocam. Ryan in the chat, kind of contemplating on how the betting works, and you know what? I need to look into that more, to be honest. I don't know exactly how it calculates rewards, but yeah, I think you could get punished for betting a whole lot, you know, and nobody else really bets a lot. I'm not so sure. I'll try to look into that a little more deeply and get some more information. Yeah, Warp Gates just stealing all of Rian's coins there. Yeah, I just simply don't know all the details of it, man. It's just the standard Stream Elements betting bot. I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to grab a drink really, really quickly. Like less than a minute. All right, I'm back. Show me the teams. Oh yeah, we're getting into a 2v2. So how we do betting for the 2v2 is based on the team color. So red, blue, green, and yellow. If green and yellow are on a team, it'd be GY versus RB, etc. So I kind of have to go into the game real quick. All right, so it looks like it's going to be green and yellow versus red and blue here. So GY versus RB for the betting. And let's hop into it while P-Boop gets that going. Spawning on the bottom, we've got Premium Bow, and Elvis and Jackson WTF. Their opponents up top, Captain Fish, and whoa, not saying that one. Let's just call him K. I didn't screen this replay correctly, apparently. So let's see what happens in this game here. People using offensive names on the internet? No way. Alright, so nothing crazy so far. Looks like the betting is underway. What do we got? Yeah, it's YG or RB as your betting hotkeys for this round. Nothing nuts. Premium Bows on 4 farms here. Hasn't thrown anything down. Is he going for a fast owl? Yeah, there you go. 4-farm owl. And the blue player is going to scout it. So he knows Premium Bow is up to no good. And meanwhile, Captain Fish is just kind of, building pretty standard at this point. Getting a little bit of an earlier Warren, but I think that's acceptable in 2v2 because there is so much aggression all the time. And meanwhile, Elvis here going straight up to 8 farm. Hasn't made a decision from there. And look at Premium Bow and Elvis, man. 1 tier 3 in the rest defensive structures. So we had a 4 farm tier 3 from P-Boop and an 8 farm Fox from his ally here. And meanwhile, blue and red are just kind of taking it fairly normal at the moment. Expansion coming down from green. And so far, nothing super crazy. Captain Fish is building a little bit of defense here, which if you're going to be hyper critical, you kind of, you know, as advice for new player, you know, you want to be careful about early defense when you don't necessarily expect an attack, because that's just money you could have spent elsewhere. But it's just a friendly 2v2, man. Yeah, look at blue over here, just building a ton of defense on his main. So this is kind of ideal for green and yellow. You know, having this time to sit back and get their tier 3 out. P-Boop's Owl is almost on the board already. This is basically as fast as you could get a tier 3. I didn't watch super closely and see if it got supply blocked, but he went for a 4 farm tier 3, right? It gets out 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. Roughly. Alright, the owl is here, man. I'm getting worried for red, as the mice are just going to trade very well against these toads. Yeah, the toads just blowing themselves up against free units here. The owl already getting some damage done. Blech. Come on. I want one more. Blech. There it is. Had to wait for the burst spawn. Alright. So the fox is here. James in chat. I wonder who that Smurf is. Definitely not James Bowring. It's not like I've seen him playing 2v2 as a premium bow or anything. Alright, so green setting up some defense over here. Getting that expansion going. Premium bow doesn't really have an expansion set up yet, but Premium bow's just messing around, man. He's floating so much food here. Now he's gonna put all that food in mines. That's a lot of mines. Here comes a fox aggression from the green player. So many mines to back it up, but a lot of these mines are gonna get caught by blue. Blue's moving forward. Oh man, are we gonna see some juicy mine hits? Ooh, those toads are not getting good value there. Now, red has taken a pretty healthy second base, so keep that in mind. Even though it did take some damage from the fox, I feel like blue and red are still in this. Like, P-Boop's kind of just trolling around here. I mean, look at them. They're just dancing. Dancing to the sound of the owl throwing up in the background. So blue and red could figure something out to get back into this game. Premium bow doesn't have an amazing economy, right? I mean, green does, but red and blue aren't slouching. They've got their own expansions. Finally, Premium bow takes an expansion. The 5-minute mark just hit. Blue and red trying to come in here, but I don't know if they're gonna break through. That's a lot of squirrels on the ground. The balloon gets taken out. The fox is under pressure. And this is it for green and yellow, right? Like, this is all they have. Those mice are holding strong for the time being. Some barbed wire trying to be placed down, doing a good job tanking. Green needs to be very careful with that fox. That fox is really the main thing keeping green and yellow alive in this match. Dude, P-Boop and James are just like, I wonder if we could win with only building an owl and a fox. Just a single one of each. Oh no. My theory has been debunked, as Premium bow has thrown down a second owl warren here. But nice attack from blue and red. They're starting to push through. Green and yellow are gaining value over time in kind of free ways, you know, through the fox harassing, through the mice of the owl. But that's all they've got. You know, red and blue have shown that they can just kind of break through there. It's not a very strong army on the ground. Green and yellow are trying to compensate with defense here, but the army composition of red and blue and simply the numbers, you know, defense are good, but unless you just have a ridiculous amount of defense set up, you need the tier 1, you need the rest of the army there to help support it. And red and blue are breaking through. Let's see if they actually have the opportunity to just straight up knock P-Boop out of this game right here, right now. Oh my god, is it gonna happen? Bam! Premium Bow has been eliminated. Are we gonna see a Premium Bow loss? Most of the time we see Premium Bow wins, but I like this. He's changing it up, man. This is a big pyramid scheme to get your wolf coins, like, because Premium Bow knows that everybody knows that, like, most of the time when he submits, it's wins, right? So then everybody bets super hard for Premium Bow, and then P-Boop bets against himself, and then takes all your wolf coins. Is that the idea? That's my conspiracy theory. Premium died because he chose owl instead of wolf. Premium schemes. Premium conspiracy. Oh man. Okay. Look at all this defense from James, man. Oh my god. He's just gonna be a pain in the ass. Like, he knows it too. Like, look at him. He's just like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna go make a sandwich. I'm gonna make these guys suffer. Red's just hanging back, man. These ferrets are slowly getting murdered by this artillery cannon. Oh my god, all the ferrets die, you guys. James of 4 foxes on the way. Oh man, what's the, like, how are you gonna, he actually literally can't win, right? Let me think about this. Maybe if he took this campfire, if that gave him enough artillery range to take this gristmill out, maybe? Because the only way he can deal damage to an enemy building is either with this turret or artillery cannon, right? So, yeah, I think he has to have this campfire to win. He's got to start the siege somewhere. I mean, he's basically going to have to build artillery cannons and leapfrog them and just try to slowly kill everything. Alright, the double fox here. See, this is what I'm worried. This is why I kind of never really hopped on the double fox train. Is a lot of times they can just target the same thing, but in some situations they won't. And also, you know, it can be really clutch because 2 foxes will one-shot an enemy fox, or a lot of tier 2 that the fox isn't normally one-shot, etc. But really, I mean, what else is James gonna do here? You know, fox is like the only unit he can build. Blue and red are gonna try to break through this again. This seems like a campaign mission or something at this point, dude. They just cannot break through there. These foxes are starting to get the damage done. But again, like, green is gonna have to win the game somehow, you know? Unless his opponent's just tapped out. I still think the victory path is held in that campfire. Fox number 4 getting thrown down. What the hell, you don't win games with foxes as your only unit? Dude, I need to. That'd just be a patience thing, right? I mean, I guess technically, if you really think about it, you could win, right? Because every time they try to build a farm, you just knock it out. So, but that could take so long, dude. You could be stuck in a game for like 30 minutes trying to do that. And red and blue are recovering on the economy. Mine's coming down, and James doesn't care. Trying to look for a way in, but turrets are pretty good against the fox. And now I think red and blue have kind of figured out how to box in old James here to the 6 o'clock. But James did get that expansion over to the left, but blue is currently dealing with that at the moment. Yeah, I don't think he even has, like, this is the only way the foxes can even get out of the map is through this choke point, right? Like, there's no sneaky little path through there or anything like that, doesn't look like. Alright, James is now starving. Wait. Oh, what? That gristmill actually lived? I'm so confused. Oh, Blue got sent to the kitchen. When I heard that happen, I assumed it was that gristmill over to the left dying. So Blue actually just starved out. Oh man, is James gonna do it here? What? As Ryan in the chat points out, just block him in with 3 turrets. Yeah, listen man, they're new players. Hey man, green and yellow actually won that game with just the foxes left. I was getting hyped, man. I thought we were gonna see a P-Boop loss. Okay. So match number 7 is a free-for-all. Never a doubt in my mind, says James. Oh, man. We've got Iris versus Ace versus Blue Coon. Let me give old P-Boop. Now you can you'll figure it out. I don't think I need to waste time waiting on him to get that betting going. Just keep your eye on the chat, you guys. The bet should begin here shortly. So let's hop into match number 7. Who dared bet against Premium? All right, spotting the bottom, we've got AC Broken Wing. His opponent to the left, Yope. And to the top right, Blue Coon. Man, I'm so confused on Yope and Iris. Is that like the same person? Or are they always just trolling everybody by swapping out their names? Cold Warp Gate's ready to bet, man. P-Boop, I think P-Boop's kind of figuring out how to set up the third betting option with it, but the bet should get underway here shortly. So, AC Broken Wing with the toad opening. Alright, there we go. The bet is now open. Iris versus Ace versus Blue Coon. The open Iris are the same. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's what my suspicion was. Alright. So the toad opening can kind of be funny in like a meme-y way, you know, because 2 toads will go in there and kill a pig. A little bit of mole shenanigans coming out over here in the side between our yellow and red players. Ooh, Blue Coon actually getting some mole damage done. Oh, Iris must have thought that that farm would barely survive or something. But Blue Coon gets that kill there. He loses a mole for it, though. Ace must be happy about that. It's always nice when your opponents kind of flail at each other in a free-for-all match. All right, the toads are coming out. Who's the target? Looks like it's going to be Blue Coon. No, Iris and Yope are 2 different people, says Premium Bow. You know what? I'm not even going to get involved with that. Oh, a little bit of overkill there on the moles, but does secure the kill on the mole, right? Like, it was at such low HP, maybe 1 toad would have done it, but still, it's 60 food for 60 food. And AC Broken Wing gonna go straight up to some falcons here. Blue Coon gonna rock a lot of toads and the snake, and Iris is just going for a lot of lizards. Uh-oh, Iris over here in the south. 1 mole already on the way. And I don't think Ace is aware of it, but that mole is gonna be inconsequential. Takes some damage there. Iris loses 40 HP or 40 food for trying that. Gets a warren, but the toe connections there on those lizards were pretty nice. Kind of makes Iris pay for it a little bit here. Blue Coon trying to take that second base. Another attack going down on the bottom. Sorry, guys, I was looking at the chat. And Iris is starting to get some damage done to Ace, but loses all his lizards. The Falcons stay alive. I don't think any of the Falcons went down there. That's very important for Ace, as the majority, he's just going straight Toad Falcon, man. All right, Blue Coon's got the Fox on the way. Very nice position for the Fox, too. It's going to be difficult for anybody to get the scout off on that. And Blue Coon's been kind of left alone. You know, Red and Blue are really at each other's throats, and mainly just Iris on top of Broken Wing here. The Falcons are holding strong, but two of them do go down there. They need some Toads to back them up on the ground. They need to heal up. You know, Ace is holding his own for not having any squirrels or lizards, man. I wouldn't mind seeing a mole or two here, just to have a little bit more of a front line. Let's see, Blue Coon starting to throw down some farms on that expansion. The Fox has begun production. Should hit the board, you know, around the 4:45 mark or so. A lot of snakes with it too. Like, Iris is the only guy in this game with squirrel or lizard. You should feel bad. He's a tryhard, man. Alright, second base is finally going down for our red and blue players. Not the latest second bases in the world, you know, especially considering the early game. They still manage to get these gristmills up, probably get a couple farms in production right around that 5-minute mark. But Blue Coon definitely has that eco advantage this game. He's got the tech advantage as well. And Ace hasn't really got the chance to scout what Blue Coon's up to at all. Iris is aware that Blue Coon has that second base, but doesn't realize how fully saturated it is. Lizards are going to be rough for this Fox to deal with, but Iris has kind of just built the balloon. Oh, no, okay. Yeah. No, he hasn't scouted it, right? I don't think he scouted it. Am I crazy? Yeah, he hasn't scouted the Fox, so just a nice timed balloon there. Kind of keep the Fox pushed back a little bit, but that balloon is not going to protect this Gristmill from the snake harassment. Gets that Gristmill about half HP and pushes back for now, so that Fox hasn't done any direct damage, but it has done some nice indirect damage by pushing Iris back and, you know, making him kind of turtle back up into his main base, not allowing him to take that expansion as easily as he would have liked. And meanwhile, Ace is just kind of sitting pretty, man. Getting up some more tier 2, hanging out, having a good time. Alright, Blue Coon looking for some action again, coming out here on the map. Poking and prodding with this Fox. Is that I don't think that's enough poison, right? Ooh. Oh, yeah, see, I kind of know what I'm talking about. A little bit. Toad's blowing up on those mice. Not an effective trade for Blue Coon, but he could use this opportunity to run in with the snakes and knock this Gristmill out. Indeed, he does. Shoving Iris back into his main. But Iris isn't missing a beat. He's trying to get a second owl out, but he's almost out of food at the moment. It's really looking like Yellow's in I would kind of give Yellow a very nice lead this game. And Broken Wing can try to get back into it, but I'm worried for Broken Wing as the snakes are kind of the only thing he's got that can do okay against the Fox besides the balloons. So dealing with this Fox here from Broken Wing might be difficult. But Broken Wing does have owls, I guess, and owls will do well against Fox. He just doesn't have the income to really start generating a large amount of owls just yet. Alright, Iris is trying to take a sneaky base somewhere, man. He's got to do something. He's starving. As we are far enough in this game where the main bases are no longer mining. Iris desperately trying to re-expand on this second base. But he doesn't have money to even build a farm. He's going to have to sell things off. He's going to have 2 owls, though, and a handful of lizards, which might be just enough to keep his opponents at bay, at least for a little while. But Blue Coon's living large, man. He's got a huge economy. He's got a large army. Not only a large army, but also a technical army here. So it's going to be difficult for red or blue, in my opinion, to get back into this. Now, Broken Wing did throw down his owl. So that's on his way, but the issue for Ace's position here is just the income, I feel like. We got a little bit of a lull in this game. It'll do a bit of fast forwarding. Okay. Iris gonna come in just with these mice. Get some good trades, though, as Blue Coon has so many toads in his army. All of those die, but Blue Coon's gonna use this opportunity to push in on Iris now that he knows that the mice have been depleted. And this might be too much damage here. Iris is starving again. He doesn't really have a good opportunity to take another expansion. The fox is beginning to hunt down these owls. Owl number 1 drops. Owl number 2 drops. And with that, I'd expect to see Iris tap out. Indeed, he does. And we are down to Broken Wing versus Blue Coon. Blue Coon in a nice position in this game. But Broken Wing's trying to get up his own owl count here. Nice denial in that expansion. Just 60 food for free. Gonna go ahead and take his third. That's a good call as well. Needs to save up a little bit of money. I wouldn't mind to see him cancel that gristmill just to let that owl begin production, but not gonna really matter too much as that owl is gonna begin production now. And there we go. Owl number 1 on the way. Owl number 2 being built for Broken Wing. And he could throw down a nice balloon here to at least keep the fox back, but man, this army from Blue Coon, you know, looks really strong. Like, even without squirrels and lizards, moles and toads kind of making up for it. I think, yeah, my prediction is still on Blue Coon, simply just because of the economic advantage he's had for the vast majority of the game. And it looks like Blue Coon is gearing up for a big engagement here. You typically only see players, or rather I should say, the only time you really want to build the moles is right before you're going to use them, right? Because otherwise you could put that money into wardens or economy, etc. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Blue Coon moving out shortly. But at the same time, I mean, with the RB composition that Blue Coon has, you know, throwing down some moles in there, not necessarily moving out, kind of makes sense in this weird, you know, trolley circumstance without any proper tier 1. Just as a way to add more value to your army. It was a 9 toads against 9 toads. So the toads could be impactful. We might see them trade out 1 for 1. Ideally for our yellow player here, what he'd be looking for is to trade out his toads for both his opponent's toads and a nice good chunk of those mice. Let's see, this is a rough, ooh, I didn't even catch this bull aggression in the bottom. Nicely done from Blue Coon there, but it looks like it gets thwarted from AC Broken Wing. But Blue Coon uses this opportunity to pounce in and knock out that third base. Nicely done. You know, forces Broken Wing out of position with those moles and then moves in while he's, you know, not necessarily where he needs to be. And Blue Coon's gonna try to just hard engage here, and I think he's definitely got enough. Needs to be careful though. A lot of these moles just kind of sitting in the back doing nothing here. Oh, the toads! Oh man, I was worried for that fox for a split second. All right, so I think from here, Blue Coon should just be able to seal this out, right? I don't think Broken Wing's got enough left. And we'll see Blue Coon slowly tighten the grip. Oh, but as I say that, the fox goes down, man. Don't underestimate the falcons. Damn, dude, just 2 falcons there. I'm watching my replay. Yeah, that was just the 2 falcons bursting it down. The toads connected on those moles. But it's not going to be enough. Always cool to see that fox get knocked out, though. As Blue Coon is going to come in here, eliminate his final remaining opponent, and win the free-for-all. Oh, as I say that, maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, Broken Wing is still alive, I guess, for 20 seconds, but he's definitely dead. He did force Blue Coon back for the time being. I mean, when the majority of your army is like toads and moles and stuff, you don't have a whole lot of longevity, I suppose. 3, 2, 1, bleh. AC Broken Wing starves out. Blue Coon takes the game. Where we at? Match number 8. We'll do match number 8 and a really quick break. Yeah. So yeah, let's hop into it. We're gonna have Froggo versus Parsival. I'll go ahead and get into it, and P-Boop will get that bet started here shortly. All right, spawning on the left, we've got Black Vegetable, aka Froggo, and his opponent up top, Parsival. I think Parsival's a good up-and-comer too, man. Like, I don't think he's been around for too long, but we've seen him a lot lately. He's been taking games off some big players. We saw him, you know, take a match off the Gentleman earlier, if I recall correctly. And you know, going up against Froggo. Froggo is also a very strong player, so hard to say. I think in this matchup I would favor Froggo, but you know, Parsival is pretty good, so you can't count him out completely. And this map looks very nice for Froggo here. So keep that in mind. Now, as a consolation prize, Parsival does have access to 3 campfires right outside of his base, so he can kind of grab those as a cheap, efficient way to kind of get to, you know, base 1.5, right? Like, but that's not gonna last forever. That could give him a nice, you know, if he goes for a 1 base strategy here, those will really help him out. But if Froggo is able to secure a second base and kind of macro up, but thwart that 1 base aggression from Parsival on the back of a couple campfires, and Froggo could essentially win the game from there. Now, Parsival can still expand, I feel like, over here, but that's going to be difficult, man. When you're so close to a high ground that's just kind of naturally controlled by your opponent, it can be very rough. Both players going for the 8 farm double tier 1 opening here. Standard stuff indeed. Froggo placing his warrants a bit forward, but nothing crazy. I think that position kind of makes sense. And look at this, Froggo decides to transition out of the squirrels and go hardcore into the lizards. And Parsival's just going for skunks. This could work out very nicely for Froggo here. You know, I feel like lizards will beat squirrel skunk any day of the week. I kind of be more confident about saying that if it was Squizzard, but pure lizard could probably do it as well, especially being able to trade against these squirrels in low numbers like this out in the open. These lizards are going to take a nice advantage here, and Froggo's going to look to snowball this. Parsival cancels that building campfire, but Froggo's now starting to get up on top of the infrastructure of his opponent. 1 warren going down, another warren is being threatened. That skunk comes out, but Frog is not targeting it. He's just trying to get that warren. I think he probably just... He doesn't think he's got enough lizards there to focus in that skunk. Instead, just grabs that warren. So, nice little bit of damage there from Frog. He bled off a couple extra lizards at the end, but he managed to trade pretty pound for pound in the tier 1. If you count, you know, kind of the advantage he got against the squirrels and losing a few extra lizards on the back of it. But he also, you know, knocked out a couple wardens there, which is really the big story. And he prevented that campfire from going down. So Frog's just going to keep this momentum up. But Parsival has some toads coming out, man. And just a few toads can really wreck a pack of lizards like this in a heartbeat. But Frog finds a nice attack angle, comes in. 2 warrens go down, 3 farms go down, a 4th farm goes down. Frog trades his entire army, but gets a ton of damage done. If you're Parsival, you kind of want to counterattack here, but at the same time, counterattack with what? He really doesn't have very much, but he's going to move out with what he's got. Going to try to, you know, secure the bleeding and build a few more farms. But I don't know, man. This is rough. Parsival moving out. Okay, I like that Froggo is trying to transition out of the lizards, but Parsival's counterattack is coming at a pretty opportune time as Frog's army really hasn't built up, right? Like I think he made the right call by trying to switch out of the lizards after he identified that his opponent has toads, and I like that he even held on to 3 lizards here, just to try to, you know, trade those 3 lizards into your opponent's toads and prevent those toads from going off on your squirrels, or, you know, if your opponent went up to like 6 toads, you trade 3 lizards for 6 toads, that kind of thing. This snake, dude, Frog wants to keep it alive so bad. Parsival gives up on it, but it goes down anyways. And Parsival has returned the favor here and dealt a lot of damage to Froggo. Is that enough damage, though? Did the game stabilize? According to the graphs, Yeah, look at that. That's crazy, man. You know, it looks like Parsifal's got a nice little lead, but Frog's not down for the count. But what I'm worried about here is the skunks, right? Since Frog is strictly on squirrels, those skunks could potentially get a ton of damage done. I'd like to see Frog try to get some... It's rough, man, but I think the right play in Frog's position outside of getting his own skunk is trying to build back up to like 6 or 9 lizards, keeping them back, letting the opponent's toads go off, and then moving those lizards in and trying to kill the skunks with them. I think that's the way to do this, but I don't know. That's easier said than done. Parsifal's keeping the pressure on. These 2 skunks are going to make this engagement very difficult for Frog, especially trying to go into the split little areas in between the gristmills and such. But he's going to come in. He gets the target fire down on the 1 skunk, but loses almost his entire army for it. And Parsifal's got some good momentum here if he can keep this other skunk alive, but it goes down. Froggo might hold for now, but he loses the gristmill. He's going to lose some warheads. Parsifal actually might have enough here. It doesn't look like Frog's got the ability to re-rally. And Parsifal is going to keep the aggression going. Knock out every single warrant. I definitely think that's game. Very well played from Parsifal. Takes a win over Froggo. Very nice comeback. That sell from Frog, like, it's rough, right? Because he had like 15 or 18 lizards, you know, so you kind of have to sell some of those, but he tried selling all of it. I don't know. I think it was the right call from Froggo, but it was a nice time to attack from Parsifal to kind of get in there right as Frog was trying to transition. Give me like a minute or 2 break, guys. I will be right back here shortly. P-Boo, if we want to open up the betting maybe for like 2 or 3 minutes for match number 9, Protocam versus Prozix, yeah, I'll be back in maybe a minute or 2. So don't go anywhere. We still got a few more games to cast tonight, so see you soon. What's up, guys? I am back. Having a great night. I hope you are as well. Alright, Protocam bet is underway. So if you want to participate, try to snag some wolf coins, hop into that. And yeah, man, I'm excited to sleep in tomorrow. I took the day off for my birthday, so me and my wife are going to hang out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've been playing Divinity Original Sin 2 together and have been having a lot of fun with that, man. It's a really fun co-op game. Kind of like Dungeons and Dragons style RPG. I think it would hold up on its own, but it's a lot of fun if you have a couple friends to play with. I think we're getting close, man. I think we're like 30 or 40 hours in over the span of like a couple months. Yo, what's up, Protocam in the chat? Speaking of Protocam, we're hopping into match number 9 here. I think the betting is still open. So let's hop into it, guys. Throw down them coins. Alright, spawning on the left, we've got Prozix. And his opponent to the right, Protocam. Rocking at Fox, Prozix, no tier 3. Both players with moles, both players queued up a 5th farm, so we could still maybe see some mole play here. Let's see if either player wants to go for it. Doesn't look like it, so far so good in this game. Nothing crazy just yet. Oh, as I say that, Prozix throwing down a mole. This is just kind of the mole dance of the early game. Maybe Protocam will be forced to sell this farm here. Yeah, there he goes, sells that off. It's a nice little victory there from Prozix, but not going to be super impactful. Ooh, but Prozix going to follow up with some more mole aggression. This is what can kind of catch me off guard is, you know, after some mole shenanigans like that, I think it's over. Then all of a sudden they come back with more moles, and you're just like, what the hell? But Protocam kept his original mole alive, so... Ooh, let's see it. 1 mole falls for both players. Oh, Protocam gets the mole from his opponent. Very nice. That's going to give Protocam a nice little victory in the early game. But Prozix is not messing around, man. Okay, sells off one of the moles. Kind of bluffs Protocam there a little bit, thinking he's just straight up all-inning. Just sells off one, though, keeps one, goes back home, builds up his farms. And now he forced Protocam to build a few extra moles here instead of his own farm. So Prozix is trying to get an edge back into this game economically. Let's see what Protocam wants to do. Is he going to be a madman? He's going to walk across the map with his 3 moles. Mole me once, shame on you. Gonna give him a taste of his own Molicen here. Oh man, that was so bad. Oh, but he fakes it out. Sells the moles off. He's just gonna go home. He's got a lot of money here though. What's he gonna build? Is it gonna be a fox? Should be a fox. Oh, it's gonna be tier 1. Protocam gonna let these moles heal back up to full HP, then get that full refund off of the cell. And we'll see where the game goes from here. Now the Fox Warren goes down by Protocam, and I think Prozix, yeah, gets that scout basically immediately. So let's see how he wants to play this. He doesn't have any defense in his deck. He's got chameleons, which he can set up and try to grab a chameleon trap on his opponent's Fox with. You know, kind of get up to 2 or 4 chameleons, place them somewhere like right here on the bridge, and Fox walks by and gets wrecked upon. That sort of thing. It doesn't even qualify as a pun. Molicen? I know. It was a stretch, man. It was definitely a stretch. Alright, Protocam sold off the Fox Warren, and he's transitioned into a couple Falcons. Thinking about putting on some aggression here. Prozix has gone really, really hard on the economy. Now Prozix is going to figure out that the tech switch has occurred. And I guess Protocam's just going to wait for those last couple Falcons. No, he sells off one of the Falcons. Protocam. Just going to go super hard on economy. I think, yeah, he probably saw that Prozix was, you know, getting his economy going nice and strong. Didn't want to be left in the dust there. I thought he might be trying to do something crazy with the 4 Falcons. But backs out of it for now. Prozix really has no idea what to expect this game out of Protocam, just kind of constantly tech switching on him. And I think he's playing it pretty safely thus far, just building a lot of squirrels and getting his economy going. So we might actually have a macro game on our hands. I didn't think that was going to happen with as much mole shenanigans in the early game. Alright, third base. Getting nice and established from Prozix. Protocam getting a nice scout off there on his opponent's base. Just kind of making sure that his opponent's, you know, not up to no good. Basically saw everything there. Sees no tier 3. He doesn't know that Prozix doesn't have tier 3. Now Protocam decides to throw down that Fox. Did he see the third base? No, he hasn't. That's actually a pretty important piece of information, as Prozix not only threw down a third base, but he's going very hard on it. Already almost fully saturated. Protocam can take his own base here. Like, this map is actually pretty even, right? Like, both players will get 3 bases. A little bit harder for Protocam to get there, but at the same time, the space in the 7 o'clock is not as attackable as it looks. You know, if you take a look at the mini-map, like, yeah, I guess Prozik could try to squeeze through that one tile right there, but other than that, you know, it's really this one main attack area that Protocam has to worry about. Prozik's building them chameleons. Did he scout the Fox Warren again? Yes, he did. Okay, so that's why I wouldn't be surprised if he was throwing down those chameleons without scouting the Fox at this phase in the game. It just kind of makes sense with his deck. You know, chameleons on the front, falcons for the party in the back. And Prozik's taking this gristmill down here. Interesting play. The main reason he wants to do that, he's almost basically just spending 60 food for that information. You know, if that makes sense, right? Like, now Prozix is going to know exactly when Protocam takes that third base. Prozix has been pretty damn far ahead on economy for quite some time, and he's starting to get into position right before this Fox finishes. So Prozix kind of has a very strong army compared to his opponent, you know, even with saturating so much on that third base, and he's starting to bust through here. The Fox is out, but with so much water around, this Fox doesn't have very much wiggle room to get a whole lot done. Prozix is keeping the attack going strong. Falcons are pretty wrecked upon by Foxes, though, traditionally, so my rule of thumb is if you're against a Fox player, I think it's a fairly smart idea to sell off your Falcons. But at the same time, if the Falcons can somehow get in on the Fox, they'll DPS it down very, very quickly, as we saw right there. It's just that the Falcon gets one shot by the Fox, you know. So it's really easy for the Fox to get some free, easy tier 2 kills. But Prozix might just have enough here, as we saw in a previous game, where the player, you know, got the Fox out. I think it was in the match with the Mistria, if I recall correctly, but, you know, it's just like, well, that's kind of all you have is the Fox. And now that Fox goes down, is that going to trigger Protocam to tap out? Indeed it does, and Prozix takes the game. Well played from both players there. Yeah, my cat's begging to go outside. Ugh. All right, I'm back. $2.78% of the total pot. Oh, that's amazing. Alright, guys. Match number 10. We got another 2v2 afoot. Oh, wait, I gotta give P-Boop a chance to get the betting set up. So it's gonna be red and blue versus green and yellow. Well, I guess I can start the game as P-Boop gets that started. So anyways, guys, over on the right side, we've got Bonk and CPU1. Which is probably just somebody named CPU1 and not actually the CPU, if I had to guess. And over on the left, we've got Targus and Insane Jester. So RB and GY or something like that is going to be the bet. Protocam trying to throw that bet down. P-Boop should get it started here shortly. So I don't know, man. I think it's like CPU01 if it's a CPU, right? I don't play with computers very often. Unless I'm just trying to test out a new skin installation or something like that. I'm thinking there's like a 95% chance that's a player named CPU1, but at the same time, it could be, you know, they were waiting to do a 2v2 in the lobby and it was late at night or something. They're like, screw it, man. Let's launch it with a CPU. Here we go. So we got GY versus RB for the betting. Just started now, guys, so throw down your wolf coins on whoever you think will win this match. So far, nothing crazy impactful yet. Bonk went up to 8 farms here, even grabbing a campfire, so pretty economic opening for Bonk in this match. And Insane Jester going for a 6-farm double here. But other than that, yeah, everything seems pretty normal. It's a player. Seen him on the leaderboard. It says Biohazard. Yeah, that's what I figured. I think if it is a bot, it says CPU 01. I'm pretty sure. I'd say like 85% sure on that. Insane Jester grabbing an Expo. But overall, I like Bonk's position best in this game. He got up to 8 farms faster than anybody here. And maybe Targus got up at a similar rate. But he also got that first campfire relatively early. Now he's grabbing the second campfire, and his partner here grabbed a campfire of their own. Meanwhile, Yellow's grabbing a base. Green and Yellow throwing down a lot of defense in this early game, but let's see if it actually matters. It's only really going to come into play if Red and Blue decide to attack out, but for now they've just been kind of macroing out on this map. Now, Green is going to try to take this expansion. Blue's going to pounce on it. Red is on the way. Ooh, these turrets are about to get up. Bonk denies the expansion, trades fairly pound for pound with his opponent's tier 1, but the turrets do get established. Red tries to go in there, but can't get anything done. Now he's getting sandwiched in, though, by Yellow on the side. Yellow and Green both are fighting Red. Bonk is not at the front lines. But Bonk has a pretty sizable army here. Can he take on his opponents? So Green and Yellow have some very nice target fire there and are doing nicely against Bonk's army, but the reinforcements from Red coming up from the south might be enough to thwart this attack for now. Red and Blue both able to get their expansions up. 2 campfires for Blue, 1 campfire for Red, and Yellow does have an expansion but hasn't put any farms on it just yet. And I like this map better for Red and Blue as well because of the high ground advantage. And again, gristmills like this are going to be difficult to take if this high ground is controlled by their opponents, because then they can just poke and prod up there very nicely. Green going to go for this forward expansion again. I think this is a smart idea by Green. It kind of makes sense, right? Like, do the work now, muscle for position out in the map before Blue and Red secure this high ground too much. And you can always take this 12 o'clock base later on as an easier third. Hey, thanks for the follow, Trip VFO. I appreciate it, man. and the cheer for Protocan. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see. Tier 2s are starting to appear from all players, it looks like. Oh, nice little rally over here from Green. Gonna knock out that campfire and get out scot-free. Loses a squirrel, but I'll take that trade any day of the week. Starting to bleed off. Actually, 4 squirrels go down there. Still worth it, but a little more losses than Targus would have liked. Bonk's trying to put on some pressure here, but Targus pushing him back for now with the ferret. But the real story is that kind of poke damage the snake is doing to that gristmill, right? Like, if Bonk can kind of rinse and repeat similar attack a couple more times, and that gristmill goes down, and all of a sudden that's a pretty big deal, because we're about to hit the 5-minute mark, and that's when that second base becomes very, very important. Oh, I'm sorry, that campfire didn't go down all the way, but Targus finishes the job there. Man, Blue and Red have just been macroing super hard this game. Fox Warren has been placed by Bonk. Boar is on the way as well. And Green and Yellow actually don't have any tier 3 at all in their deck, so they're running the risk here of just getting overpowered as this game goes longer. As Red and Blue are starting to just kind of amass a more technical army here, a better income. Ooh, does that turret go down? There it goes. Bonk, that turret actually getting a lot of work done. Bonk bleeding off a lot there. Now, Yellow tried to push in here for an attack as that action went on, but it looked like Red just kind of thwarted him back. No harm, no foul. Lots of blood on the field, though. All right, the Fox is on the way, and so is the Boar. This is where things are going to get really ugly for Green and Yellow. Wow, Green and Yellow actually kind of keeping up on the army value graphs there. A little better than I expected it would if you compare it to the income. All right, Red moving forward. Nice kill on that skunk. So far, his tier 2 staying alive. pushing in against Insane Jester. The boar is here to reinforce. Kind of a little bit late to the party, but now Bonk is out and about as well. Now, are Bonk and CPU1 going to team up on yellow here, or is Bonk just going to try to keep Targus' army at bay? But Bonk, playing with fire by walking his fox through the water like that, loses the fox. Nice victory there for Targus. Definitely what they needed to get back into this game. Meanwhile, CPU1 is pushing in against Insane Jester, and this just simply might be too much damage here. Insane Jester's got nothing left, and looks like he's going to have to tap out of this game here shortly. Targus is still kind of standing strong, but with his ally eliminated, he's going to be in a rough spot. All right, red and blue moving in from two sides here. Bonk taking on the main army. Meanwhile, red getting the damage done from the back door. And Bonk's army is going to get cleaned up. But CPU1 is dealing the real damage here. That boar is very low HP, which is nice. I mean, that means that boar has tanked a hell of a lot of damage thus far in this game. That's going to be it. Looks like Targus is going to die to a takedown unless he taps out. He tapped out right at the last minute. And Bonk and CPU1 take the match. Oh, whoops. Wrong button there. Cam, yay, made a big bet and I was worried. Okay. Match number 11, guys. We're going to have the Gentleman versus Cold Warp Gates coming up next. Let me take a drink here of my delicious beverage. And let us hop into it. Match number 11, guys. So spawning at the bottom, we've got the Gentleman and his opponent to the right, Cold Warp Gates. 1-0 says Protocam. Yeah, I don't think anybody bet against the Bonk team, my man. You can't win anything if nobody bets on the opponents. I gotta see how much I can customize the betting here. Need to dig into stream elements a little more. I would like to set it up where you would at least get something, right? Like if everybody bet for one side and that side won, I'm like, yeah, give them a little bit. Speaking of the betting should be underway here shortly for this match, and we've got Fox from both players. Reasonable expansion options for both players here. Yeah, actually, you know what? Yeah, this is pretty balanced, right? I mean, second base and a campfire, fairly accessible for both players. Both players have access to a third base, and yeah, the Gentleman's kind of got access to the fourth, while Cold Warp Gates doesn't. But very rarely do we see it actually come down to that. It's most likely going to be two base play, if I had to guess. So, betting is up, guys. Gentleman versus Warp Gates. Throw those bets down now if you want to participate, as that betting closes very, very quickly. So Warp Gates grabbing that quick campfire. Gentleman grabbing a quick campfire of his own and getting out some lizards. So pretty mirror this game so far. Ooh, all these lizards, though, coming out from the Gentleman. Gentleman's even hiding them, too. Trying to make Cold Warp Gates cocky, but it might end up biting him on the ass here. Oh, does that farm go down? Indeed it does. Lots of squirrels sacrificed by Warp Gates to accomplish that. But as long as Warp Gates can hold on here, I'd say it's worth it. But this is going to be rough. The counterattack from the Gentleman coming in. And this Warren's going to go down. This campfire is going to go down. Gentleman is just in an absolutely dominating spot. Leaving the early game of this match. Really just kind of showing you the power of lizard versus squirrel there, man. And, dude, I don't know. That's rough, right? Like, I sympathize with Cold Warp Gates, because when that farm is so low, you're just like, you know what? I don't even care anymore. I'm going to kill that damn farm, right? It's totally worth it to lose 3 squirrels and a warren and a campfire for 1 pig, right, guys? Of course. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's rough because at first you're like, okay, 2 or 3 squirrels, whatever, you know, I'll kill the pig, it's fine. But that counterattack from the gentleman was just so good there. And the lizards really made the big difference too, I feel like, because the lizards, you know, covered that ground so quickly and just do well against squirrels and straight up fights anyways. And the gentleman's using this early game advantage to leverage himself into a quick fox. Now the question is Warpgate's gonna scout it? Oh, whoops, my mouse is in the way. Warpgates, I put my wolf coins on you. You better win, says Gabany. Gabany is currently casting the first arc of the Gentleman's 21 Duelist event, man. So definitely check out twitch.tv/GabanyFox for them VODs. He began casting it yesterday. I'm not sure how far you got. I was planning on taking a look at that after my show tonight. God, what did I do last night? Last night I was just dead, man. Oh my god. I worked a very long time, and then I just came home. Dude, I just frumped. That's what me and my wife call it. When you're just, like, lounging around being a lazy bastard. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I'll be, like, screwing around on my phone, playing, like, some stupid mobile game and watching StarCraft. That's straight up frumping. Alright, the gentleman's out here. With the fox, the snakes, you know what? The snakes are kind of filling the role of the ferrets here, in a way. You know, dealing with these turrets. But also have that flexibility to also, you know, deal with opponents tier 3 and tier 2 very, very nicely. But the fox, you know, kind of interesting. I never really thought about it that way before. I mean, I guess the ferret still has its own place in the sense of, like, constant, you know, out of range poke potential that can really put your opponent in a frustrating position. But the snakes are doing very nicely here, kind of paired with the fox to eliminate the defense in the fox's way. And you could even make the argument that the snake would do, you know, better than the ferret in certain circumstances for that role, since the snake can also do fairly well against balloons, right? So Gentleman's keeping this pressure up. Feels paid sponsored, man. So yeah, so is there more Arc 1, Gabany? Looks like Biohazard asking when you're gonna stream the rest of Arc 1, so I guess you've got more content to get to for the Gentleman's Tournament. Speaking of the Gentleman, takes that match against Gold Warpgates. Very nicely done. You know, you got a really big advantage in the early game. You know, kind of capitalizing on Cold Warpgates, really kind of getting smelling blood in the water there, getting red in the eye, and really wanting to kill that farm. And on the back of that, you know, trading in those squirrels, those lizards were able to get in, do so much damage, and the Gentleman decided to use that to get out of Fox. And then from there, with some really nice snake and Fox micro, was able to take down his opponent. Alright, guys. Final match of the night. Yope versus Parsival. Here we go. Betting has begun, you guys. Hop in, throw down them wolf coins right here, right now, to bet on this final match of the night. Alright, spawning on the bottom, we've got Parsival. And his opponent up top, Yope. So what's the conspiracy, man? Are Yope and Iris the same person? I hear they are, I hear they aren't. I guess we'll never know. I think they're just friends, and Iris likes to troll everybody and run the name Yope and confuse people. They're normally, I guess they're European. I mean, I see them kind of active on Discord in the early mornings for me. Nice little mole aggression here coming out of Yope, but handled very nicely there from Parsival. Parsival doesn't take any damage. That mole gets out alive. I was worried for a split second there. So overall, I think Parsival comes out in the lead a little bit because Yope's just got that 60 food wrapped up in the mole, right? And he's got to wait for that to heal up fully before he's able to sell it. Dude, Biohazard in the chat. For some reason, I was thinking, I saw you check how many wolf coins he had, and I was like, dude, I don't know why, but I have a feeling he's just gonna throw down everything on one of these guys. And sure enough, he does. Bets the whole kit and caboodle on Parzival here, man. So Biohazard crossing his fingers, hoping Parzival wins this match. And so far, I think Parzival's in a good spot. You know, I think Yope is in a fine spot as well. I'm a little worried that he hasn't started his 8th farm yet, but Parzival's 8th farm was kind of late as it is. And plus, Yope is going to kind of win the tech war here. He's going to have these snakes out very early, even Snake Pigeon. And I tell you what here, this is not a regular build from Yope. You know, no squirrels, no lizards. A little bit of some memeness coming out. If you are a new player, you know, 99% of competitive decks, you've got either squirrel or lizard as kind of the minimum base, you know, grunt unit in your deck. So when you're running compositions without that, 9 times out of 10 you're kind of just messing around. Maybe you randomed, or you're trying to experiment with something that can work without one of those core units. But Snake Pigeon is kind of this classic, old school, like it was popular way back in the day. Like I remember when Mishi was getting into the scene. Gosh, I want to say around October or November. We saw him, you know, opening up with snakes and harassing with them using pigeons to support him. But Yope is all in here. He's built a lot of moles and he's moving forward. Are these moles gonna do enough on the front line to keep these snakes alive? Nice tagging here from Yope, trying to hit each tier 1 unit as best he can with this snake. One of the snakes did fall, but the other snake is holding strong. A lot of moles died in that trade, though. Moles are very, very expensive. So I think Parzival held just fine. Oh my god, you guys. Look at that Arby graph. Way to put a fine sharp edge on my point, right? Like, jeez. I just want to leave that up for a second. That's insane. Alright, Parzival trying to move in. Another snake goes down almost immediately. Nice pickup there from Parzival. A lot of times in these mid-game situations, it's really all about securing the kills on the tier 2, you know. I mean, obviously you don't want to lose tier 1 either, but you lose a couple tier 1, it's not the end of the world, you know. It's really about, like, if we can take an even engagement, right, we basically trade tier 1 pound for pound, but I kill one of your tier 2 and you don't kill any of mine, then that's a nice advantage for me. So second base has arrived here from Parzival. Yope trying to get his own second base going, but again, man, I know Yope is a good player, but the fact that he doesn't have any tier 1 here makes this super difficult. You kind of have to have either squirrel or lizard 9 times out of 10. So that attack from Yope, like, almost made it, right? Earlier on with all those moles, like, maybe if he kept both his snakes alive, he might have been able to do something there. He had really... But the problem is you can't be, like, target firing and, you know, microing your units back at the same time. You know, Yope decided to do, and rightfully so, I feel like, with snakes, you know, because one tag of snake poison will kill a squirrel, right? So what you want to do in situations like that, ideally, is, you know, hit as many different squirrels one time as you can, right? So Yope had his commander up forward, trying to target fire down each individual squirrel. Meanwhile, that leaves his snakes vulnerable. He can't micro them back and try to keep them alive. It's kind of one or the other. So we're approaching this mid-game, and I feel like Parzival's in a nice spot here. He's going to move in right before Yope can get the turrets down, which is unfortunate. Yope's kind of RTS sense was tingling there for a minute. He started throwing down those turrets, but it was a little bit too late. Parzival's going to push through here, and losing this second base might simply be too much damage. Yope taps out, and Parzival takes the match. Alright guys, that is going to be it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. As always, I really appreciate it, man. Don't be shy. Be sure to submit replays for my Thursday night show. I cannot do this without audience participation, right? So, oh, who won? Parsival won that. Yep. You made me freak out for a second there, P-Boop. Alright, guys. That's it for the stream. Thank you so much. As always, send me some replays for Thursday night. And I will see you guys then. I guess let's go say hi to Mishi, man. He's playing some StarCraft, but that's okay. So, take care, everybody. I will see you guys on Thursday. Later.